Ladies and gentlemen, we got to sit down with the hottest new watchmaker in Switzerland. So here we are finally with one of the meetings I've been looking forward to the most during my week here in Geneva for the auctions. We are sitting down with the man himself, Simon Brette. I wanted to share with everybody, all of my viewers, the watch that I'm the most excited about that has been released in the past 2 years. The second I saw it back in, what was it, March, April, during Watches and Wonders? March. It just took my breath away. Truly a stunning piece, truly a watch that I found finally to be innovative. There's a lot of other brands doing amazing stuff, MB&F, Recep, all these guys, but this watch for some reason, just, sometimes like a watch just speaks to you. It's aesthetically beautiful, and I love your story, so thank you for sitting down with us. Thank you for joining us as well, Sasha. And let's start this off by telling everybody a little bit about your story, how this all came to be, where you came from, and how the brand started, so to speak.
Sure. So thank you so much for coming to my office. So I'm 36 years old now.
You sure?
It goes quick.
Sure.
It goes quick.
Yeah, final answer.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago. So so I'm engineer. I'm not watchmaker. So I work since 12 years to develop watch for other company.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's time for me to make my own watch brand. And this is what happened with this watch. So the idea of the brand is to choose the best craftsmen here in Geneva or in France, bring this amazing team to achieve all the special component to have the best result. So design the movement, the case, and I just have this incredible team of craftsmen just to add this beautiful value to the watch. And I really care about all this different detail of the watch to have this perfect match between the movement, the case. And this is something that I care today, is to have front side beautiful, and the same for the back. And
I think that was what struck me the most, is how much detail there was in pretty much every component and element. And I see you constantly post on Instagram, and you're more than happy to share with everybody all of the different artisans, because you have chronometer artisans, which I guess is the incorporation of all these different people who all have a specific role to play in terms of the components that they build for the watch. One person for this, one person for that, and each of those people are very specific to eat that. That's what they train and that's what they do, which is crazy.
Yeah, it felt kind of like an orchestra.
Yeah,
you have the maestro in the front, and then you have all these different.
It's a great analogy.
But like also the fact that you at the subscription delivery had all these different artisans and specialists for each different component or each different process of the watch present that they can introduce them to. And that's an approach that I really love, because you have independent watchmaking brands, the micro brands, which are headed by an actual watchmaker. And then in this case, it's a different story where you kind of have somebody
conductor.
Yeah. Like telling, and then also but sharing the names of those individual people, introducing those individual people, I think is a beautiful approach. I think it's so much nicer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the design, the creativity, and the ongoing improvements, like every time I see Simon, the watch has had some sort of little update. Something has been tweaked, or, whenever it's an ongoing process. It's the same watch. I saw it 1.5 years ago, I think, the first time.
Oh, wow.
And the finishing is different, and the little, the seconds ring is different, and the engraving is a little bit different, and everything, little tiny detail has changed. And I like that, because you're always like kind of pushing and
perfecting.
Perfect.
Yeah, so this is the idea of when you come with something, when you want to make your own brand, you have to do something very special.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea with this watch is to have the best result. I don't want to only have a nice watch. I really want to have a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And to have this masterpiece, you have to just taking care about the customers. And this is what happened with the subscription. All those guys, we talked a lot, and I learned a lot. So it was just incredible to have all those experiences, to exchange, to learn from them. And it's not only about me or about the craftsman or the customers, it's a team.
Yeah.
And with this team, I can learn and go faster and do it better. So this is the idea.
I mean, I think you really touched upon something, making it more of a collaborative effort because, I mean, in the reception of your watch, I guess you in your position, no one really knows how their watch is going to be received before it's announced to the public or it's shown to the world, you know? So it could have been like, hey, we think it's beautiful, we think it's amazing and a marvel, and like you said, a masterpiece, but maybe the world doesn't agree, you know, because it's very subjective sometimes. And the reception has just been overwhelmingly positive. I remember when it was announced, I had so many people and clients call me and were like, did you see that watch? What do you think? And I'm like, it's incredible, you know, but everybody was talking about it, which congratulations. So that being said, let's walk through the watch a little bit. You know, everybody has seen it online. I see I guess maybe a prototype version in the case.
That one.
So tell us about the design, how you came to be, you know, maybe your favorite elements of the watch.
It was very strange because I didn't expect at this moment just to make my own watch. But when my daughter was born, in June 2021, I was working for my own, so I only developed watches for other brand. And I just explained them, okay, I will stop working during 2 months just to taking care about my daughter, my small family, and I have a lot of time for me. And this is now how it starts. So I start designing a watch, but I didn't expect what I will do with.
Right.
So the only idea was, okay, design the watch you would love to wear one day. So the idea is, okay, I really want to keep this special moment to become a dad and to make it very special. So I was thinking, okay, the only thing I know is to design watches, and this is what I will do. And I designed the watch I would love to wear one day, and with these 2 different approach. So the backside is more about my technical, the most engineer vision, very symmetrical with very beautiful detail. The click system, which is very special, that I developed only for this watch. Yeah, this big balance wheel, two barrels, because I really want to have more than three days power reserve. Yeah, so it was the first approach to design the movement first, the backside, and it was very special approach because before I only developed the movement and I think about the technical things just to respect what want the customers, and after that, when you have all the elements, you think about the design. So this approach for this watch was, okay, I care about the design, and after that I care about the technical things. So it was different approach.
So beauty first.
And for the front side, I really want to have something just more artistical, and no symmetry, something very elegant, but more artistic point of view. And this is from my dad because he's carpenter and he's more artistic guy, and I really have this both parts in myself, engineer and more artistic, and so this is the approach. So
what's the meaning of the bow on the case side?
Yeah, this is the key link that often use my dad because he's carpenter. And the fact is, I really care about craftsmanship, and this is the approach of this watch, to support them and to promote them. And the reason why I care about craftsmanship is because of my dad, and my dad often uses this key link on what he achieved in wood. So this is a small remember to him.
I love how the inspiration comes from the birth of your daughter, you know, your father back, like very much like a family first, and the other people, whether it's not actual family, but the other artisans who helped you create this watch. Like the focus is not just you, it's on all of them. Like I was saying earlier, every day when I check out your Instagram stories, you're introducing another person that was involved in the making of this watch and highlighting them and their success and how they contributed to the watch. And I don't think I've ever seen another brand or another watchmaker do it quite like that.
Yeah, and also like every single detail, I feel like you can ask a question about like, oh, what is that? And then there's going to be a story behind it. Every detail has a story.
Absolutely.
It's like a whole adventure when you're going through this watch. And generally and I've been in touch with a lot of brands in the past. I worked for one for a long time. When somebody asks you about a bridge or a screw or
balance cock, whatever
the balance cock, the stop seconds, the shape and everything, it's kind of a 1-2 word answer.
Right.
It's just like, yes.
Yeah.
But here it's like a whole story. And, you know, I mean, you could film, I don't know, a 3-hour episode of just describing like each part of this watch, I feel like. which I love.
Can
and
you
I'm always
imagine-
discovering every single time I look at this watch, and I've seen on Simon's wrist like so many times, I always discover something new.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was just strictly, a very subjective aesthetic that I loved. And obviously, I'm not alone. I've seen now one in person. One of your subscription members is wearing it at a very much vintage-centered event. But it was like the star of the show. Everybody saw it on his wrist, like pulled him over to take a look at the watch. Yeah, and you're right. I think we could make a 3-hour special, bring in all of the artisans and have them explain their process for every little small detail. And I think where a lot of watch people have gravitated towards it because of the attention to detail and just that it's so different and innovative, I think,
Yep.
and unique looking. I think it's finally something a little bit different, but there are some independent watchmakers who are making fantastic, unique stuff. I think this was a beautiful piece, and the incorporation of these great elements,
I always have a critique, always.
Right.
And it generally ends up with the lugs or the case, coming from like a vintage world where everything is kind of like more refined.
And
tuned.
this case to me is like very vintage inspired too,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like the details, it's not too fat. I had nothing to say about it.
No,
And that's a first.
And at 38 millimeters, I feel like a lot of watchmakers, like for example, one of my favorite independent brands, MB&F, and I think I worked for them, right?
Yeah.
I love their designs. I think they make some of the most innovative, crazy watches out there.
Yes.
But there's only one I could buy and
Wear comfortably.
wear comfortably, which is the LM101 because of the size, and I feel like a lot of watchmakers, they try to do a lot and make some special watch, but unfortunately they're limited, because of the size of the case. They have to make it bigger to fit everything in that they want, and I think this is the perfect marriage of making a reasonable, awesome size watch and then still incorporating all the elements that you wanted in the watch.
Well, I think he designed
No compromise,
designed everything that we were thinking.
Yeah.
And like
I don't have the brain for creativity. I could never have come up with this, but
I mean,
I could have envisioned like
you've seen brands kind of coming back towards more moderate sizing. We've seen the popularity in vintage towards smaller sizes.
Yep.
That were like, oh, this is unsellable. It's 33 or 34 millimeter was like impossible. And like today, it's back. It's kind of not back like, the majority of our business, but I'm saying like there is a demand for it.
right.
And people are shying away from like bigger over 41 sizes, I would say, are kind of like the threshold for that, like, larger size is either going to be for a larger wrist,
Right.
like my brother's, where he's fine with that. But like generally for most people, they don't feel right wearing like a 47 millimeter Panerai anymore.
Right.
That's just like, it's just like not possible. It feels weird.
The funny story about the case. So it was very special because when I designed this case, I make a 3D print of the case and I send it to all the customers of the subscription with different lugs.
Okay.
So I send it to them with the strap.
Right.
They put it on the wrist and they choose which one was the best to all of them.
Oh, I had like to
Yeah,
vote.
yeah.
Wow, that's all.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome. Like getting feedback from your
Yeah.
clients before you finalize the version of the watch. To
Very
get
involved in the development.
never.
amazing.
And to watch this special. So this is titanium. Do you have plans to do any other metals in the future? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so subscription was zirconium, the limited edition of 12 pieces, and this December, so next month, we will officially launch the titanium version.
Right.
And so it's already sold out because it's limited in production, only 12 will be done per year. And we think about making only 100 pieces, but it will be less, so close to 60 pieces.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then so what's the future in terms of case metals designs?
Every year we will launch a new version. So
Cool.
the idea was, we are starting, the workshop is ready, but we'll just improve and add some people. And so we are able now to produce 12 a year. And next year we will produce 12 more. So 24 for next year, because we will have the titanium and the rose gold, because we will launch the rose gold next December, and the December 2025 we will launch the steel version.
Okay.
And after that we will launch the platinum case.
Oh, so you're gonna go through all of that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And for each version we will come with new techniques of engraving from Yasmina Anti.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And different colors apparently.
And different colors. Yeah.
Can you tell us what the colors will be? Wait and see. That's okay. Wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's great. What about plans for a new model entirely?
The idea is to come in 2026 to come with the first complication of the brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what you want to do yet?
Sure.
Can you tell us?
No.
Well, everybody, stay tuned. We'll all be waiting patiently to see the version. So now, one question I'm going to ask you, which I think is a touchy subject. If somebody who's watching this video has a hope for the future of getting one of your watches, what do they do? What's the best way?
The best way is just to register on my website.
Okay.
And we will take care of people who want to make an order.
Okay.
And we have many just version, and I hope that we will make a lot of people happy just to allocate some pieces.
Right.
And yeah, so just to talk about this watch, and we talked about the craftsman. So I work during 12 years in watchmaking, and I meet a lot of craftsmen. And at the end, when I designed this watch, I was, okay, I exactly know who I will challenge to achieve all those different components. And the first one was a guy called Anton Peterson, who is the guy who achieved the screw. So the first time that I come to him, I just showed him the drawing, and he was, whoa, this is crazy what you want to do, but what is the reason? And just, it's not possible to achieve because I have this incurved surface of the head of the screw, and I really want to have the level of finishing the best level of finishing, the mirror polish, but on incurved surfaces. And he tells me, no, it's not possible, so sorry about that. And I know him very well, and he come back to me 2 months after, and he explained me, I have good and bad news. So the good news was, okay, I find a solution just to achieve this level of finishing. But the bad one is it spent to me 1 hour just to achieve this finishing on one screw, or 1 hour per screw. And it's a lot. It doesn't make sense, but when he come to me and show me the result, I was blown away, and I was, oh, this is what I want on this watch.
I think that was the detail that stuck out the most to me the first time I saw the watch, and I'm like, I've never seen screws like this, so concave and so beautifully high polished. Like it was absolutely insane.
And the reason behind it is I really don't like the screw on the movement. So in mechanics, it's fine. We all integrate it. It's fine. We have a screw and it makes sense. But I really want to make disappear this slot. And the only way to achieve this was, okay, I will do an incurved surfaces with perfect polishing. The light will reflect on the surfaces. I will focus on one point. And in the middle of the screw, when you look at the screw, you have this white light in the middle who make disappear the slot. So it was the reason.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I can't see like the detents, you know, when you look closely at it, it just looks like a point flashing back at you.
Yeah, and there is something a bit special about the incurved surfaces. You have exactly the same on the crown. And if you look at your face in front of the crown, because it's the same in incurved surfaces, you can see your face.
Yeah, I'm upside down.
But upside down, I love it. And this is very special detail.
Yeah, the attention to detail on this watch is just...
We talked about...
Every single component is a story.
So we can just talk a lot about all the very special detail about this watch. And I have just worked a lot on each detail.
Your passion really shines through on this, you know, and you were showing us the machine in the back.
And, you know, Simon's like famous, like concave polished screws.
My favorite part of the watch.
A specially developed machine that was a sort of polishing machine that was then adapted to the polishing for those screws and done by a friend of his. This machine was originally intended for, in the 70s, polishing eyeglass. It was adapted in order to put the screw inside the machine. There is an abrasive wooden bit here, and then it turns on an axis in order to give it that concave polish.
Manual machine.
Wow.
Yeah, so each screw is polished by hand, and to have a concave polish is extremely complicated, and it's complicated to maintain because then you actually have to screw it in without leaving a single trace on any screw.
And it spent 1 hour to achieve one screw.
1 hour per screw?
I think the polishing, you know, And after that, on top of that, is doing black polish, just to make the watch.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Such a beautiful watch. Congratulations on your
Thank you
achievement.
so much. But it's
really
not
great.
only about a watch, it's about people and mostly about people. And this is the thing that I love with these watches, with this brand, is to put the light on the people who really deserved it. And we talked about customers, and customers have to know who are those people, and because they really deserved it. And this is the best way just to showcase what they're able to do. And it's beautiful watches for sure, but the most beautiful is about the story around it.
Yeah.
And this is what make me really happy.
Yeah, because the artisans who create all these different little components, like
Yeah.
your friend who helped you with the screws, like those guys are like the unsung heroes in the background that nobody ever hears about. No one ever talks about that. They just talk about the Retchup, the Max Pucer, the Philippe Dufour, the now Simon Brette, but no one ever thinks about the people who made it happen.
Yeah.
And I really applaud you, and that's what I love so much, that every time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That every time, I look online, there's some person who had a role to play in creating this watch being highlighted and being thanked, and shown that they dedicated their lives, some of them, to creating, to perfecting one little part of a watch, or, watchmaking or whatever, and it's really, really nice and refreshing to see somebody acknowledge those people and really
Because I think that
make it a pivotal role of
when
their
you applaud
company ethos,
applaud like at the end of the theater or orchestra, like I was mentioning before, you applaud everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just the conductor, like you were mentioning, or not just the director of the play, or it's the whole team. Like everybody had a little role to play, from the lighting guy to the actors. And I think that it's extremely humble. And today we've seen kind of egos, take off to another level, even with the bigger brands.
Especially with the bigger brands.
Especially with the bigger brands, some of them, yes. And so employees that will work for these bigger companies let their ego kind of get the best of them, just because there's a lot of hype.
Right.
And I think that they've forgotten how they got to where, how that company got to where, was making nice, technically improved upon and very, very accurate, or whatever it may be. They made important watches.
Right.
And I think that that's kind of gotten lost, and we're coming back to it now.
Yep.
We're wanting to look for value. We're wanting to look for we want the maximum out of every dollar that we spend. And I'm not going to mention the price tag of these because they're sold out anyways. But I feel like you're whatever you pay for this watch, you're always going to feel like you had great value.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always going to feel like at whatever price point that it's worth it. And I think, and that's why a lot of people are flocking to independence in general, as the same reason they go to vintage, because it gives you a feeling of something special, exclusivity, passion, attention to detail. For every vintage watch, there's a reason why one's special, or one aged a certain way, or the history of the provenance. With every independent,
made in that year, yada yada.
With every independent watch, there's a guy like Simon and his people behind the scenes who are just so passion driven. And I'm not saying the bigger brands aren't passion driven, or at least they were at some point, but most of them now, it's more like a commercial factory. But brands like you, and other smaller independent brands who are making beautiful watches, they're putting their life into it. They're putting their soul into it, and everything they do is in pursuit of making something that's a reflection of them, and of their personality and of their craftsmanship, artisanship, all of that. And I think it's fantastic. And I think people have finally in the past few years woken up to why independent watches are so special, and why a lot of these guys making these watches really are, artists and rock stars, and they're really, ahead of their time for what they're making, and should be absolutely paid attention to.
Yes.
And so I commend you on your watch. I commend you on your success, and I'm very excited to see what the future holds, and future designs and future complications that I can't learn about for 3 years, but it's okay. Well, wait, we got nothing but time, pun intended, Dana.
The last thing is the same way the customers will be part of this process, because I will really care just to their feedback. They will learn me a lot and just help me in a certain way just to improve myself and to do better and better. So all the people who will be involved and the customers will have something to add to this brand and to add value. And this is what we love today. It's not only, I repeat it, but it's not only about me and the craftsmen, but the customers have something to give to the brand. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I love the collaborative effort of all of it. I really do. I think it's amazing. So thank you so much.
I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Simone's watches are truly legendary. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, anything you can do to help us grow the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.